Hello, hello. Good morning, happy Monday, my sparkly friends, my glittery people. We are gonna get rolling in here because it is almost the end of April and I want to make big progress. I didn't get anything done this weekend. Well, I got a little done this weekend, but I didn't get any marathon stuff done this weekend. So I definitely want to catch up on the marathon because we are rolling and I want to keep it rolling. Rolling. So yeah, I worked on a bunch of little things. I can kind of catch y'all up on what I'm working on here and there. But what I really want to do is get some work done on the shoe marathon. So let me go ahead and get rolling on that. So I've got some glue here that is not clean, and I need clean glue for my semi-shears. I'm a little bit discombobulated. Busy weekend. Lots going on this weekend. So, I'm so sorry, y'all. I get my hair okay, and then I come in here and it falls down. But yeah, kind of busy weekend. Lots going on this weekend. Chez moi. We did not go to Jazz Fest this weekend. I hope everyone who did go to Jazz Fest had a wonderful time. I hope everyone had a great weekend at Jazz Fest or otherwise. I am getting my ducks in a row. So yeah, I'm a little discombobulated because I had a busy weekend, but that's okay. We're gonna rock and roll. We're gonna make some progress, make some shoes, because people are gonna want shoes. When I have a little trouble getting motivated, I just try to think about people who want to catch shoes and what the feeling is going to be like to hand shoes out. That's kind of where I go mentally. All right, let me move some stuff around. I worked on a little bit of stuff here and there, but I didn't really work on I didn't do the full marathon, obviously. Okay, so, come here. Got all my little ring shoe girlies in one spot. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4 white wedding shoes in progress. These have each got 1 coat of glitter on them. And obviously these take a little longer because we first have to paint and prime we have to prime and paint them. We have to put Invisible Jet and then put the paint on them. Sorry that the light in here is weird. I think it's just the sun. It is what it is. We're going to roll with it. I've got some silver gimp trim. I've got her. We started, you guys go over here, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to put the next coat on them. We similarly started glittering our Robin's Egg Blue shoes. The boxes that are going to be our iridescent semi-sheer. We have finished glittering our velvets and started embellishing those. As you will perhaps recall, we put the ribbons on these and started to glitter the ribbons. The ribbons might need a little touch-ups, but no problemo. I bought myself some more ribbons, so we should be, good to go on that. And I have a little more ribbon over there. Let's see, I want to do white shoes first and then the blue shoes because I can get white glitter in the blue, but I don't want to get blue glitter in the white. Oh, it kind of matches my hair. Okie doke, so let's get started on that. Got some ribbon, got some shoes. Let's get started on that and we can make our progress. We can roll out. I've got a bunch of stuff. Once again, all right, nice clean sheet of paper. Let me get a nice clean cup of glue. Oh, I had a little yogurt container that I was going to do my glue in, but that's okay. I'm just peeling the old glue out of this one because when you're doing semi-shears, when you're doing white glitter, you want to make sure that your glue is clean and your brush is clean. And the reason for that is, as I have said in the past, is if you have black glitter in your glue or dark glitter in your or anything in your glue that isn't your white, when the glue dries clear and the glitter is semi-sheer, those little flecks are going to show through a little bit. You can imagine you're kind of laying a window on top of it, if that helps you visualize it. And if it doesn't, I'm sorry. You know, it is what it is. I always futz with my hair and like it's, you know, I don't know what I'm going to accomplish with that. Today we might also try and get those last couple of shrimps because that's all we're really waiting on those. But first things first, we're going to get coats of white glitter on our white shoes. So, starting point, we're going to give these a real good brushing. Usually if I'm putting a next coat on top of a first coat, I still struggle with this. Usually if I'm layering that second final coat, or sometimes third final coat, usually if I'm layering that final coat on top of a coat of glitter, and it's like my second coat of purple on top of a coat of purple, I don't brush it that hard. I give it a little bit of a brush because I don't want a ton of glitter in my glue because it kind of wastes the glitter. But if I'm doing whites, I do want to give it a good brush because I can see a few, you probably can't see on the camera, but I can see a few little specks kind of snuck in there. You know, as I was like walking around, I probably glittered a pepperoni and went over the top of it, and that's, you know. So usually I don't feel the need to brush as I'm layering the same color on top of the same color. But when you're working with whites or a very pale semi-sheer, it just helps you get a nice clean base. Gosh, that's pretty. And so this is going to go into my Especial Blanc, my white Especial. And you can use Especial Blanc instead of Invisible Jet as your base coat. That's a way to, I keep my Especials separate. So I have like a jug of red Especial, a jug of green Especial. You know, this is my Especial Vert. So that is my, I was astonished to find out that Especial is not actually a real word in, you know, any language. That shows what I know. But I said it to somebody who speaks Spanish, to a Spanish speaker. I was like, yeah, especial, you know, Spanish for special. And she was like, nope. She was very nice about it because she's very nice. All right. Okay, so I'm just putting white glue, clean white brush. I know I've said it so many times, but like glitter therapy is real. Like, ooh, I can feel it come out of my shoulders. I can feel the relaxation. Oh, that's nice. As soon, you know, I'm like, oh, I need this here. I need that there. What am I doing? Where's my ribbon? Where's my glitter? And then as soon as I sit down and start doing it, ooh, it melts out of you. It melts the stress out. I had my annual last week, and she took my blood pressure, and she was like, your blood pressure is great. And I was like, thank you, it's all the crafting. And she's like, oh, I think it is. And I was like, I'm gonna quote you. I'm gonna be like, my doctor's office says that glitter is good for your blood pressure. So, you know, 4 out of 5 medical professionals agree that glitter is good for your blood pressure. I'm kidding, y'all. Please don't actually, like, that is not a professional opinion endorsed in any way. I was totally joking with her. Though I do think it's very relaxing. I personally find the glitter process to be very relaxing for me. And you know, I got a lot going on. We all do. But I got the store, and I got the kids, and I got, you know, I'm lucky that I have so much going on. But it is nice to relax with the glitter. And I have been doing this a very long time. I have been glittering shoes for like longer, for I think 15, 16 years. And it still really hits the spot for me. It still really makes me happy, makes me relaxed, makes me feel good about things. So 10 out of 10 would recommend to a friend. All right. Oh. I'm moving stuff out of the dehydrator to make room for this because I can lay I can fit one shoe in my little dehydrator. But look what I pulled out. Isn't that just the most beautiful, sparkly slice of cheese? It's going on the muffalata, which I'm still working on. She's kind of the muffalata is like, she's going to be, where's the pink slice of, the slice of meat? She's going to be sort of like my burger was. I'm going to make an olive there. And I'm going to do some little white sesame seed dots. Not sesame seed dots. I mean, I think it is a seeded bread, but that's going to be my muffalata, but she's still a work in progress. But I had the cheese in the dehydrator. All right, let me put my pretty girl in there. Looking good. Yes, yes, yes. Dehydrator on. Okie doke. So this one, y'all will maybe recall. Well, let me do the ones that are all the same first. Keep the train on the track, girly. So this one I did my mix of whites. The one I just did, I did Miss May's on. And that I think is a good classic crystal white. Though I might put some white out or some Boeuf Gras on top of her. We're going to see. All right. Into the Especial Blanc. She is brushed. You can maybe see that she's got a little bit more sparkle. She is a mix of, I want to say, Miss May's, White Velvet, probably a little bit of Spirit Queen, and then some Queen of Diamonds gives her a little extra punch. If you had Magic White, she would be great for a wedding shoe. Magic White is specifically formulated to be like good cover but nice sparkle. It's got just enough of that extra fine in there to give it that kind of punch. And I just want to make sure if there are any little hitchhikers, any little stray flakes of glitter, I get them off of there because I don't want to, like I said, once we glitter with our white glue and our semi-sheer crystal glitter, it's like making a little window. And whatever we put underneath that window, we're going to be able to look through the window and see it. And we want to look through the window and not see anything if we're doing a white shoe that we want to be like a solid white. Okay, looking good. Looking good. And we sell these big jars at Craft Culture. They're great for when you're doing big batches of stuff where you want to like mix a couple of things. So if you're doing a handful of wedding throws, where you're doing what I've been doing this month, where you make them white and then you glitter them, it's not a bad idea to grab one of these big jars and then go around your craft room and like everywhere you have like a little half jar of white, you can mix your whites together and then you have a big, beautiful batch. And yeah, I've seen people do that with even bigger batches in like bags. You can sort of make your own little half-pound bag of your very own mix. Okay, she's good. She's good. I don't think I have room in the dehydrator for two girls, but let me see. Let me see if maybe. Oh, yeah, maybe. They're going to squeeze in. All right, trying to keep my ducks in a row. Okay. Yeah, I got a little bit of, a couple little bits. She got away. All right. Checking for hitchhikers, checking for anybody who's, just not supposed to be there. Okay. And I'm going to brush both of them. Oh yeah, this one I started doing in Boeuf Gras. Yeah. So we're going to have one Miss May, one Boeuf Gras, or we're going to have two Miss May, two Boeuf Gras, and then one Queen of Diamonds. That's at least where we're at so far. You can always kind of change your mind until you put that put that final coat on. you aren't really locked in. So if I put Miss Maze on the first coat and then I say, you know what, I really do want the extra shine that I get from my mix that has Queen of Diamond, I can just layer that on top. You do 2 coats of glitter. I do 2 coats of glitter always. I always do 2 coats of glitter. And that first coat of glitter is more a mechanical component. It's to help that final coat stick well. So that's why I always say the first coat does not need to be perfect. It just needs to go on there. And the second coat doesn't need to be perfect either. That's that's overstating things a little. But I focus more on the execution of that final coat that shows. Whereas the first coat, I'm getting it on there so that the finished coat has something to like grip onto. And you will notice that as you glitter, the way that the glue slides over the throw before it has glitter on it versus how it slides over a coat of glitter, you'll feel that difference. It'll just be more velvety, more smooth, more even. And that's why I always do 2 coats. But I definitely, encounter people who do it differently, and it's always interesting to see. I always say it, and I know it's, I know I'm a broken record, but there are as many ways to glitter as there are glitterers. We all do it differently. And I think I'm usually pretty chill about it. If I'm teaching a class, I'll be like, this is how I do it, but find your own way. That being said, I will try to warn people, like, this is a brand I really stick to because it has never done me dirty. This is a brand where I like Scribbles. There are a lot of dimensional paints out there, but like for me, Scribbles, Tulip, Puff Paint, those are all the same brand. Those have never done me dirty, so I'm going to dance with who brung me. They consistently show up for me, so I'm going to consistently use those. Because transfers are so much work, and the work is important. The work is what makes them special, but transfers are enough work that if I make a transfer and then it crumbles or it doesn't come together right, I'm going to be very frustrated. And so sometimes you do everything right and things still happen. But I do think if I stick to, there are certain things where if I stick to the brands that have consistently worked for me, I have a better experience overall. But everybody's different. All right, I've got my Boeuf Gras. So this one, as you will recall, we did slightly differently. The first 3 all had the inside and the outside glittered first. That was their first coat. And then I just did the sole and the heel. This one was a little different because she needed a little paint on her sole. So the paint on the sole was dry, and don't we all need a little paint on our sole? She needed a little paint on her sole to catch her up because I think I ran out of white paint. It's always a balance between getting all your ducks in a row and getting everything like lined up and ready to roll, and making do with what you've got, because if you wait for everything to be perfect, you'll never do anything. So I think I ran out of white paint, so I think I waited and did her. I waited until I found another half-used bottle instead of just searching for my bottle. Okay. I am going to give her her exterior and her interior. So this is the second coat on the interior. It's going to be a little tougher to keep track of her. Oh, and I might want to get some confetti involved. I don't have any. Do I have some white confetti? I've got some unicorn freckles. I guess I could use that. But no, I think I'm going to wait. I'm just going to try really hard to remember. I'm going to set her in a different spot to remember that I didn't go in the usual order of operations on her. When you're doing big batches, confetti really helps. Maybe I'll get a little confetti, actually. Y'all will wait for me, right, while I get some confetti? Y'all won't get started without me. Trying to get it down in there. The toe is always, it's always hard to get it in the toe. That is always. Okay. She got away. So I'm going to grab some white confetti. I'm going to do Pearl Jam. I like Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam with Buff Gras, that's one of those combos that like, ugh. I feel like I could kick a door down. It makes me feel so pumped. Okay. Little hitchhiker. One little speck of red. Got some red confetti floating around because I was finishing up. All right, you guys wait with the shoe one sec. Okay. Just getting my stuff. All right. Are you Pearl Jam? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, that was not so bad. And while I'm over here, I can grab it and show y'all. Look how cute my little berry basket came out. Isn't she adorable? I put the video up on Instagram, and I'm going to put a full post on my Patreon of like, this is what I used, and these were the steps and everything. Because I might do a full video on her. We might do her as a kit. We might do her as a workshop. I've got this one spot where like my hair feels weird, and it's driving me nuts. The NeuroSpicy girls get it. Ugh. I smooth it out and it feels good, and then it feels weird. Thank you all for indulging my whatever it is that's going on in my brain. So this is Pearl Jam. That is one of my favorite white confettis. She's really pretty. So I'm just going to put Pearl Jam on the inside to indicate to myself that I have done 2 coats inside this shoe. That is the only spot that has got on any of these white wedding shoes. That is the only spot that has gotten a second coat. And she's going to get a second coat of Buff Gras, which is so pretty and sparkly and white. I actually might do 2 Buff Gras because she is so pretty. So I only have 1 coat of white on her exterior because we had to wait on her to catch her up to the other gals. And so in the process of waiting, we did the heel and we did the sole and we did the inside. So we went ahead and did a second coat on the inside. And I will know that because she's got a little bit of confetti in there. So when I come back and do my exterior coat, I'll know that I only have 1 coat here, even though I have a second coat in here. Pretty pretty. All right, that is all my white shoes. And let me get all my, now I've got 4 white glitters. 5 if you count my Especial. 6 if you count my Invisible Jet, which we're done with Invisible Jet. But, you know, we've got a lot of glitter at Craft Culture, but all of the colors have different energies, different uses, different like applications. So to me, it makes sense to have all of them. Possibly also it makes sense to you guys. I think you're probably my people in that way. All right, so Pearl Jam, she's lovely. Buff Gras, really pretty metallic, opaque, high flash white. It's got that like silver that gives it like a real like, you know, that's a technical term. It gives it that real intensity, that real like luxuriousness. I really love the crystals that have that like opalescent rainbow in them. I really love Miss May's. It's got a beautiful shimmer. I really love Queen of Diamond because it's so sparkly. Those big flakes catch your eye and really tell your brain, ooh, you're looking at a lot of sparkle right here, which is what your brain likes to be told for a variety of reasons. What the what? I'm not. My scratch paper, my boys make a lot of art, which is wonderful, but my scratch paper is like strange doodles and they doodle some strange things. Okay, so yeah, as I was mentioning, that's my berry basket. So you can see the shoe had like this straw woven texture and I layered some kind of clear glitter on top of that. I am going to tweak that a little bit because I like that it's clear, but I want a little more shimmer in there. So I'm going to play with that. But then I filled it with strawberries and blueberries. And I put these little blue pearls in. They were a little bit more teal than the sort of rich, really indigo blue that I used on my blueberries. So I thought they kind of looked like little unripe blueberries that kind of accidentally got mixed in. So I thought that was pretty and gave it visual texture. And then I put these white sequin flowers in because like strawberries have those white blossoms. And so it's a little bit exaggerated. Like they aren't quite that big and like they have that many petals, but I thought it was pretty. I thought it sort of red. And then I did my blue ribbon. I did a little bit of lace around the basket. And I really love this. I really want to do a bunch of little berry baskets. And I've been thinking of other things I could put in the baskets. Like it would be fun to do like a whole series of farmers market little baskets. I think I might do like a basket of eggs. You know, I've got some thoughts. So what she needs is a transfer that says Muses is going to go right there. I need to do it really little and really delicate. I will probably do it in red because I think that's the move. I think I'm going to pull it out. Because this is so textured, I HundyP need to do a transfer. I sometimes do my direct lettering, but on her I cannot because of the texture. The reason being, if I write on there in paint and I pour the glitter, it's so heavily textured, I'll never get all the glitter out. It'll just be nooks and crannies. So I'll write it, I'll put my red glitter, and then it'll have like fuzzy red bits. And so I don't want that. So I'm going to make myself a transfer, either red or maybe red and white. Caitlin put such beautiful transfers on her originals. Her transfers are immaculate. So maybe I'll do my best. I'll see if I can make Caitlin proud of me. But anyway, that's ready. And then once that's done, oh my God, I have to show y'all. Once it's done, this is another topic. This is another topic. I'm gonna keep it together. Why not? I saw a muse this year. There's this amazing batch of women who like hang out downstairs at the peak of, once carnival season really arrives, they roll up, they hang out downstairs in the community craft space, and they are amazing. They are artists, they are machines, they get a lot done at the height of the season. And one of them this year was tying her bags with tulle, and it looked so pretty. And I know we're way off topic. I'm like, I'm not getting enough done. I wonder why. Also, guys, look at this tulle for this shoe that isn't part of the shoe marathon. So I found this tulle that has glittered strawberries on it. So she's going to go in the bag, and then I'm going to use the tulle instead of ribbon, I'm going to put the strawberry tulle as the ribbon. So I saw her doing that, doing the tulle as the ribbon. And she's like, oh yeah, I just ran out of ribbon, so I started using tulle, and now I'm using tulle, and it looks so good. She did like glitter tulle. It looks amazing. So I'm still kind of a sucker for the curling ribbon, but in a few select cases, let me show y'all. Do I have a bag? She's a boot bag, so that's a no. So I am not bagging her. She's not getting bagged because she still needs her transfers. It's not done until it says Muses 2027. But I also love, it's such a weird shape of shoe. Not weird, but it's unconventional, you know? But the fact that it's got that kind of thick box. Oh, I wish I was bagging her. But I am not. But then I'm going to do this. I'm going to bag her with the tulle. I'm so excited for that. Hang on, let me do it, and then I'll flip it and show y'all, and then I'll undo it because I'm being silly. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Oh my God, I love it so much. Isn't that freaking adorable? Isn't that just the cutest little wrap? Woo! I could just, I'm very excited about this. So I also like low-key think, low-key, high-key, I'm too old to actually know the difference between low-key and high-key, but like some key, in the key of something. Oh, so I need to get her transfer done because I want to finish her and bag her so bad. That's going to give me extra joy. All right, you hang out over there, honey bunny, and motivate me. I also, though, low-key, high-key, medium key, house key, I think that I could make this. I could make tulle with patterned stuff on it. And I need to see how hard or how easy that is. Because, like, it's getting into another level of nuts to be like, oh, also we need to theme the gift wrap that we put these gifts in. But that's kind of fun. Another thing I'm kind of like playing with mentally that I'm kind of thinking would be fun. I saw some stuff that people put together. I want to say it was Clio, because the Clio gals are like on it. I want to say it was Clio that I saw people got things where it was like you got the cup and then they put other stuff in there. So like if it was a movie themed cup, then the Clio goblet looked like a box of popcorn. It had like the red and white stripes and it had fake popcorn in it and like movie stuff. And then they also put in like movie candy and like the whole thing was a little set. It was like, and one of the floats this year in Muses, I know that I'm really going off on a tangent, y'all, but welcome to the journey. One float in Muses had Cookie Monster on it, and it was like stuff, it was like about how like PBS had been canceled and boo on that. Boo on the cancellation, not boo on PBS. PBS forever. And so it had like things that had been pink slipped, I think was the theme. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. There's always a lot going on, and I pick up bits and pieces, and my brain is like, remember that. And I'm like, I will not. Thank you. No, pass. But it was, the float had Cookie Monster on it. So a bunch of the gals in the float, and I saw them, and they were so cute. A bunch of the gals in the float did Cookie Monster themed shoes. And the OG Cookie Monster, I think, is Jamie. I could be getting that wrong, but she put like googly eyes on there and cookies and stuff. And I've done a couple of Cookie Monsters, cookies monsters, inspired by Jamie, who is so inspiring and so creative and comes up with great stuff. And I did some Cookie Monster shoes where I like put fake cookies on them. Maybe you've seen them. And I used like blue tinsel. So they did these bright blue tinsely, the tinsel looks like fur, Cookie Monster shoes, and put like the googly eyes on there, the big like Cookie Monster. And then they went and bought like a big old thing of like a bunch of little like bags of cookies and packaged them. And I love that. So this year I think I am getting a little bit more into even stepping up how I package the shoes. So I would love to do more stuff in terms of the wrapping being kind of fancy and kind of fun and adding to it and giving you even a little bit more of an experience of receiving them. And also I think it would be cool to put some stuff in there that's like coordinated. And I have some thoughts on this that we're going to get into because we actually still do have a lot of time. We actually still have plenty of time to work on stuff and come up with stuff. And the amazing thing about Carnival is if you have a fabulous idea and you run out of time because you're a human being who only has so many hours in the day, you can save the idea and do it next year. Carnival is coming again every year. Like, there's no expiration date on you doing a cool idea. And for somebody who puts a lot of pressure on themselves, as I'm sure a lot of you can, a lot of you also know that feeling. It's nice that there's that built-in like pressure release. It relieves the pressure by releasing the pressure. That valve is built in. If you get to a place where you're like, I'm just not feeling good about this. I'm just not executing this the way I want to. I need more time. I need to learn a little bit more. You can just put it aside and wait. You can just set that down and it's going to be there for you the year after that or the year after that or the year after that. Those of you who have been following me for a minute, you probably recognize some of the stuff back there has been up there for a while. And like the stuff that are my gifts, my Willy Wonka shoe, my dragon shoe, my Ken tambourine, my Han and the Solo Cup bouquet, my LBV pink flamingo bathtub. Those are gifts and those are displayed not because I'm working on them, but because they're going to stay with me always and be handed down to my children. The Ken tambourine is technically Tommy's, but he lets me display it with all my stuff. That was the first time Tommy ever like ran after a float, like chased a float. And that's such a, like, I'm going to cry thinking about it. That's such an important memory for me, for us. Donna her Instagram handle is Orpheus Tambourines. I went to say hi to her just because, we know each other through the shop and I just wanted to say hi. But she was like, follow me, stay with me. And I had Tommy with me. And I was like, we're going to chase the float, Tommy. And he was like, okay. And so I held his little arm, I held his hand, had his little arm, So we were running, and people were being so nice. They were like clearing the way. They were like yelling for Donna to help us find her. And like, everyone was so nice. Everyone was so amazing. And we chased the float a couple of blocks. And she gave Tommy the Ken tambourine because he loves Ken. And it was amazing. It was just that was the first time I ever usually I said I don't really get that involved with trying to catch throws during the parade. I occasionally do a trade. I occasionally, I love the things that are gifted to me. I have some very special ones in my collection, but mostly I like to enjoy the experience, and I don't want to get stressed out about, am I going to catch something? Am I going to find, I'm not filling out a bingo card at the parade, or I am, but it's one big square that says, have a nice time. And I'm going to stamp that friggin' square no matter what. So I'm not chasing down, I'm not going to catch them all Pokemons, but that experience was wonderful. That was really special. And that Ken tambourine is that was a really special moment. And it's very cool that we have that memento of it. It's very special. Because experiencing Carnival with my kids is really important to me. So I put the first coat of Breakfast at Trademark on the bottom of this shoe. So she's going to dry and then be ready for her second coat and then second coat. So we got 2 more sessions and then we can start to embellish her. All right, and so this one we're going to do her a little different. She is going to get silver on her heel, her platform, and her bottom. I don't know if I'm going to like it, but it's good to try stuff. So I'm actually going to do my top coat. I'm actually going to do my final coat, my second coat of blue on her. And then I'll switch over and I'll do the coats of the silver on the bottom. But yeah, my point being, I have some pieces up there that are pieces that are displayed that friends made me or that I have associated with special moments. And I have a lot of the ones that I have been gifted are at the glitter store. I have a few that are in my space and special. The ones that are at the glitter store are also special, but these are the ones that I have in my home. I've got the Willy Wonka shoe that Jamie did for me. Speaking of Jamie, the OG Cookie Monster, and just a fountain of creativity. Just a free-flowing river of ideas and cool stuff. I've got the Willy Wonka shoe that she gifted me, and I love it so much. It's got maybe I'll do a little tour of my private collection sometime. I've got my pink flamingo bathtub from my LBV buddy, Karen, who is very inspiring. Here we are on a Monday morning. I'm getting a little choked up thinking about the artists who inspire me and the people in my community. I'm calming myself down so that I don't cry on the YouTube. And then I have a fire dragon shoe from my really, really very dear friend who has been doing dragons a long time. And it's one of her early ones. So maybe I won't show it. Not that I don't love it, but I know it's one of her earlier ones. So to her, it's not the height of her artistic capacity. She's learned a lot, I think, since then, and I fully understand that. I went to a friend's house, or a friend of a friend, and there was one of my shoes from the first year that I ever did shoes was in the house in a, not framed, obviously, because it's 3-dimensional, but in a clear acrylic box displayed, and I saw it, and I was like, I will trade you anything I've ever done to for us to get rid of that, because it is embarrassing. And she's like, you know what? No, because the year that you made that, you made 10 of them. That's if you're a collector, that's more exciting than now that you're up and rolling and you do hundreds of them. That's really special. It's all right. Okay, but if you change your mind, let me know, because I would love to like launch that thing into the sun, because it is. I was learning. We all started somewhere. I'm not like embarrassed, but I know that feeling. So maybe I won't show y'all her up close. Again, not because I think she isn't. She's beautiful. My fire dragon is beautiful, but the fire dragon is more representative of, you know, who she is as an artist. And I love, it feels, when I have things that, oh, I'm going to get weepy. When I have things in my space from the people who inspire me and the people who I have like shared with and collaborated with and who are my friends and my fellow artists, I feel like they're with me, and like we're, you know, making carnival magic happen together. And it's just that's very special for me. And so I experienced that very emotionally. And of course, I've got my Han in the solo cups, my bouquet of solo cups, and it's so big and beautiful. And those are some of my nearest and dearest too, the cup tans who run Han in the solo cups. Big feels on a Monday morning. But what we do is very beautiful and very special, and we're very lucky. And I'm very grateful for our community and for all the people who have shared with me and, you know, make this community what it is. If you, everybody, what's this, like, there's the saying, like, it takes a village, but you got to be a villager. And boy, we sure do get that right in New Orleans. And when I say New Orleans, I sort of mean the carnival community. I think it's really beautiful that a lot of us aren't even, a lot of the people who are doing the work and giving of themselves so generously aren't even physically here in New Orleans a lot of the time. You do not have to physically be here to be a part of the ecosystem, to contribute to the culture. The people who are out thrifting, people who are doing their little pop-ups, where they get together with friends not in New Orleans and make shoes or throws together. You know, the people who work on it and then have to pack all their stuff in the bags and explain it to the TSA agents who are like, why is your bag full of glittered King Arthur grails? That's very, what we have is very special. The community that we are able to partake of is very special. And I think that's wonderful. And that's a lot of why I do what I do, you know, because this is a culture that is worth fighting for, that is worth the work that it takes to uphold it. And I love the people who are involved. So thank you for coming to my very emotional TED Talk. I don't know, you know, you get in here and things, you start glittering and what happens, happens. You know, what happens in glitter stays in glitter. Okay. That one didn't fully work, but thank you for joining me on that journey. Okay, she is looking really good. She has got 2 coats of the semi-sheer iridescent Breakfast at Trademark Infraction glitter from Nola Craft Culture. Boop-a-doo. You can't really read it when she's empty. But when she's dry, we're going to do the silver on her heel, on her platform. We're just going to see how we feel about that. I'm not 100% sure it's going to read or what, but we're going to try it out. All right, I'm just checking to see if there's anybody who I want to. There's one little piece of red. The red confetti from that's on me. That's not the fault. I was going to say the red confetti from the strawberries really like got around, but that's me. I didn't clean my space up enough after finishing those berries. So I'm just making sure that there's no red confetti inside my ring box. Okay. But it was sort of a roundabout, we sort of took our time getting there, but we've got a coat of glitter on our 4 white shoes, our 2 semi-sheers. Our Velvet Girls are ready for more work, so we'll maybe do so. Oh, that's what we'll do. Before I'm going to move on to the rings, and I'm going to start glittering the rings. But before we do that, before we switch over, I want to go over here. I don't want to smudge you. It's not that I don't want you close to me. I just don't want to smudge you. So last time I tied my little bow and I glittered her. I don't know if you can see in the light. I probably need to do something about the lighting, but I just don't know what. So that's going to be comme ça. And we need to make a few more. So I'm going to do big feelings and uncooperative hair. That's what we're doing today. And I think I have a bunch of blue in this brush, so I'll switch to a clean brush. All right, so make 2 loops and tie them together. That's how I do my bows. And it's nice because the double-sided satin is very forgiving. It doesn't care which way is up or down. It's just pretty either way. So I make a nice little bow, not too big, not too small. Depends what you're doing. If you're doing like an olla lamp, it's probably, you're going to want it to be a little on the petite side. Check something. Okay, so what I'm going to do is cut this right in half so that I have enough to make and I will show y'all. I'm kind of thinking about, I got a pair of shoes that had some little rhinestone bows on them. So on one of my Tiffany boxes, I might not do the classic white bow. I might do a little diamond bow. We're going to see how we feel about that. Got to play around a little to figure out what works for you. Cannot be scared of what happens if we play around a little bit. All right, 1 bow. And I'm going to glitter this, and then I see that this has this ragged edge. Once I glitter it, I'll cut it. Because if I cut it, it's just going to keep unraveling. But once I glitter it, the glue will kind of seal it a little bit, if that makes sense. It's got a little piece of tape on it because it was at the very end of the roll. That's all right. I'll glitter it and it'll be fine. No problemo. All right, same thing with this one. I'm going to do her in half. And then 2 loops. And then pretty little bow. Again, it's too long. It's weird. It's a little frayed on the edge. We're going to glitter and then we're going to worry about that. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3 bows. I am gonna, let me think what the order of operations should be on this. I think I'm gonna, my glue gun is not hot. I'm gonna turn my glue gun on. That glue is pretty clean. I think we're all right to use that glue. That glue and Miss May's. Okay. I do think I need to, I want to touch this up a little bit because I put the strap on there and then glittered it, and I do want to touch it up, but I think I'm going to do the trim first. So when my glue gun warms up, I'll do the trim. Okay. Okay. And I did this 2 ways. This one I put it across and when it was dry, I tied it. This one I did a little twisty. Either one works. It's going to be covered up by the bow either way. All right, let me get a clean, kind of medium-sized brush. You could probably use a little more conditioning. I did condition them, but probably not enough. Okay, so these I'm going to put aside, and I'm going to put some white glitter on these. Just everywhere. And it is hard to get all the nooks and crannies on these, so it definitely is a situation where you should just accept that touch-ups are going to happen and not stress about it too much. And just be careful when you put your glue on these that you don't put so much that you collapse the bow. You want the bow to be nice and full and kind of look suspended in time. You don't want it to droop. And so keep your glue kind of light And I know I'm contradicting myself because it's like it's hard to get the nooks and crannies, but also keep the glue light. And the answer to that is just you kind of gotta accept that there will be more steps than one. All right, the Miss Maze is a really pretty white on this. It has a little bit of a golden tint, but on top of the white satin, it doesn't read as gold. It just reads as white. All right, so she is dry. I'm gonna actually take a pin and stick her. If I put her upside down, the loops won't collapse. That looks pretty good. I can see some spots I missed. We're gonna get them on the flip side. I'm just checking to make sure my glue gun isn't butted up against anything, because sometimes I do that and then it melts holes in stuff. And that's on me. That's my workspace is too cluttered. I want to be clear at all times that I'm aware that I am the agent of my own frustration. Usually, 9 times out of 10, it's that I didn't do something the way I knew I should have. But, you know, I'm trying not to be too hard on myself about it. Plenty of things to get stressed out about it. The glitter does not need to be one of them. Okay. That's a pretty good light glue coat. It will need more, but that's okay, because we got plenty of time. It's only April. We are making great progress, and it's still so early. We are going to be so relaxed by the time the actual season arrives, because we have such a big head start. I try not to put wet glue on top of wet glue, but if I'm careful, I can maybe get away with a little bit of it. Probably was not the move, but that's okay. All right, white bow number 2. Okay. And let's see if the glue gun is warm. You ready? Okay. So on one of these, I want to do silver. And on one of them, I want to do white. And I've got a couple of different whites. Unfortunately, our previous manufacturer of white GIMP, of rolls of GIMP at Craft Culture no longer makes them. And so we're trying out different ones. So I've got a couple of different ones to play with. All right, so I am just gluing some silver GIMP. Ooh, these scissors are toast. Where are my cuties? These should do it. Okay. That's what I'm talking about, an agent of my own frustration. How many times have y'all heard me say, oh, these scissors are toast, and then I put them back in the pile, forget which ones are which, and then I'm back in here a couple days later going, oh gosh, these scissors didn't magically sharpen themselves in the night. What a surprise. How unfair. Alrighty. Just putting the silver GIMP along the edge. Lovely, lovely. I do like the silver. I'm going to see if I like the silver or the white once the whole thing's put together with the ring and the lettering and the everything, you know? And you may look at them and say, oh, Nori likes that best, but I don't. Everyone gets to have their own judgments in terms of taste. Seeing texts and emails and stuff, but I'm gonna get to them when I get to them. Okay. I'm scooching the ribbon out of the way a little bit so that I can put the trim underneath the ribbon. And I probably should, now that I'm thinking about it, it probably makes sense to do the trim before the ribbon so that the ribbon sits on top of the trim. But, you know, it's not a big deal either way. Okay. Oh, I know why I don't do the trim before the ribbon, and I'm about to show y'all. So there's the trim. She's gonna get her little ribbon right there. Cute, cute. Or maybe like that. Yeah, that's the one. She's gonna get her ribbon right there. Or is she gonna... Let me play a little bit. But the reason that I do the ribbon first is so that when I put the trim, it sits on top of that. That's what I was thinking. I had a plan all along. I just didn't remember my own plan, which happens a lot. That's part of why I keep my notes. Yeah, I think I'm going to end up liking the white better than the silver, but it's good to try different things. I think I'm going to do white on the other 3. But I'm glad we tried something. I'm glad we did a thing. And I just said I'm going to wait and see how the whole thing is put together, but I contradicted myself a little there. All right. I really do love the patina velvet. That is one of my favorite of the velvets. Oh, I want to do silver on the other one that I'm doing silver on the heel. That's okay. We'll do 2 silver, 2 white. And we'll have 1 silver on the velvet, 1 silver on the semi-sheer iridescent, and then 1 white. We'll have every possible combination. It's like an SAT question. Okay. Just gently laying my thin GIMP trim down. And I don't think I have them now, but I am going to put a pretty iridescent round on the join, the spot where my trim meets my trim, and I have a little bit of a like, I like to stick 1 little rhinestone on there, and I want to do iridescent to match the iridescent stones that I'm putting in the ring. And I know I have a 10-pack of that somewhere, but I'm going to dig around for a while and either find it or get another pack. Y'all know how it is. Y'all won't judge me. Okay. So, what? Silver, 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 silver. And now my question for myself is, do I want to put the white bow on her? I know I want to put the white bow on the other one. Or, okay. So I found a pair of shoes that had these on them. They're a little rhinestone, you know, kind of. And I think that would be very pretty. You know, I think that would look very kind of vintagey. So I'm very torn. That would be pretty on a different shoe as well, but it does kind of have the Tiffany vibe. I don't know. I don't know. I might need to, but I already did the white ribbon, so probably we're going to do the white ribbon. That's okay. It's all right to figure things out. I am going to save this. And when you're thrifting for shoes, make sure you keep an eye out for shoes that have really pretty, like, rhinestone. You know, if that pair of shoes was like $4, I got the shoes and I also got 2 of these. And the other one needed a little bit of repair work, but I did it. I'm able to do some repair work. Okay. A little more white ribbon. So we're going to do 1 more white bow. Oh, I did it. Did I do it right? Loop, loop, boop-a-doo. Get her kind of down to size. This is a slightly different white satin ribbon, but very similar. So totally cool. Any white satin ribbon kind of works, you know, that's what makes it look iconic though. The combination of robin's egg blue and the white ribbon. She's a little long, so let me try her again. I am not great at bows. I'm getting better. Some people are really artists at bows. I will like watch people tie bows on YouTube and just be like, how did you do that so good? And so then I've still got 2 pieces left to do on my other girls. So I used up exactly the amount of ribbon I had. which is very nice. So I'll do this last one. I'll trim her. I'll touch up the ribbons on these two girls, and then we'll do the rings, and then that's a really good morning of glittering. Really good session. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like I'm making good progress. That bow's a little big, but that's okay. That's all right. She's okay. I'm going to scooch her just a tiny smidge, make her a little bit littler. All right, plenty of glue, but not so much glue that she gets droopy. And then some Miss May's. And then I'll pin her up with her two buddies, and they'll all dry and be ready for their assembly. Okay. Pretty. There's spots where it's like, is that spot not glittered because I didn't put glue on it, or did I put glue and I just haven't hit it with the glitter yet? And you know, the world may never know. All right, I'm gonna hang her up. All right, my little glitter bows are pinned to my cork board, my empty cork board. My cork board had all my LBV on it, but took them all down. Got to start the next round of LBV. I say got to, like I'm not just. Me teaching my kid PEMDAS. PEMDAS. All right, I'm going to. All right, I got a couple of white trim options. I'm going to do the sort of pearly one, I think. But yeah, we're figuring it out. We're going to figure it out. We always do. Yeah, I like the pearly one. And I might try some different white gimps on my... Come on, brain, you can do it. On my wedding shoes. See who feels like they're going to be a good addition to the craft culture lineup. All right. Man, I wonder if I could do the top edge, then put the ribbon, then do the then glitter it, then do the bottom edge. That would be kind of aggravating, but that might be the smoothest execution. Oh yeah, I like the white a little better than the silver. But I do really like the silver, and it could be that once I put all the bells and whistles, once it gets a big silver ring in it, I might feel differently about it. You know, it ain't over till it's over. Sometimes I'll be working on a shoe and I'm like, oh, I'm not really, this isn't really what I wanted. This isn't really doing what I envisioned. But then I put the trim on and I letter it and I'm like, oh, I actually love that. I have a very hard time with kind of like trust the process crafting, where I'm like, no, we can't make a decision until we don't know until we know. You know, we can't, let's not go borrowing. Let's not decide we don't like it before it's done. Because we so often change our mind. It would be one thing if like my instincts were amazing and like every time I get halfway through I know exactly how I'm going to feel about it, but that is not the situation. So I need to give everybody a little more time to kind of percolate. Yeah, I really like the white versus the silver, but again, we're gonna see. Nothing wrong with a wait and see. Nothing wrong with doing what we need to do today and letting tomorrow be tomorrow. I almost said be tomorrow's problem, but problem is a pretty strong word for which which color trim do we want to put on our glitter shoes. Always good to remember. That what we're doing is very beautiful and very special, but also not life or death. So, you know, if a little bump or if something comes out a little wonk, nobody's life is gonna be ruined. No lives are gonna be ruined by shoes. Although, there's certainly been some funny throw drama over the years. That's for a late night live when you know, I'm a little less inhibited, a little more uninhibited, shall we say. No, I'm kidding. I would never. Not here to spill tea. I'm here to glitter shoes, not spill tea. All right, let's see. So this side up, that's really pretty. I really love that. I really feel good about her. I'm just putting a big dollop of glue right where my ribbon twists, and then I'm putting my little bow. She looks cute. She looks good. And I'm holding it. All right. I'm gonna add, got a little wet glue on you. She's good. I'm gonna touch her up a little bit. I don't want to put her on there and try to do the whole glitter job because that's gonna be a recipe for frustration. So I'm just touching up. I got most of her glitter already done, but now I'm checking for like bald spots. Fluffing that bow up a smidge. The nice thing about the white glitter on the white ribbon is that a bald spot isn't going to really bother you. It's not like we're putting black glitter onto a white ribbon. The nice thing about using the ribbon in the kind of coordinated color is that it's going to cooperate with us. It's going to play nicely. Getting all of our touch-ups. Not all of our touch-ups. It's okay if there's more touch-ups. All right, I see a little hot glue spot. I'm going to deal with that later. For now, I'm just focusing on getting my ribbon glittery. All right, plenty of glue. Twisty, twisty. Excuse me. All righty. Checking if I missed any spots. I actually might need to flip this bow upside down, I'm realizing. Because the loop looks a little weird to me now that I'm looking at her. But what I'm going to do is let her dry and then decide if I want to do that. Because I can't glue her wet anyway. So there she goes. And I'm going to touch her. Her bow is not dry, so I'm just going to touch her band up a little bit. Just a little more glitter on the band. Especially where it shows kind of towards the bottom. It doesn't really show much underneath the bow, but you know, we do the thing. We do the thing. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Oh, it would have been pretty to do one in Buff Gras. That's all right. That's all right. Like I was saying, there's always a next time. If you're making something and you think, oh shoot, I wish I had done this, just mentally record it or write it down, and you can enjoy having figured that out without stressing that you didn't have a crystal ball. Nobody's got a crystal ball. All right, so she's gonna get her bow when her bow dries, and they're both gonna get their rings. So let's work on rings. Let me check on my, oh no, knock some stuff over. All right, let me line everybody up. All right, you go over there, and you go over there. Good, good. And maybe you go over there. Okay, everybody's lined up, everybody's drying off. Good stuff, good stuff. How are we doing? How are these girls doing? All right, okay. They're pretty good. I'm going to, the two girls that are in the dehydrator are dry, but I'm gonna do rings first. The girls who are in the dehydrator, I'm gonna rotate out, let them dry. Right. And the girls. Ooh, she's pretty. I love a fully glittered white shoe. I mean, she's not fully glittered, but I love a shoe that's been painted white and glittered white. It is so bright and beautiful. All right, you two girls sit there. You got to sit there, and you can go in here with your friends. All right, okay, looking good. We're doing so good. So now it's time to work on our rings. So where did I put the rings? Where are my glittered rings? Gold rings. These are my non-glittered rings, but I know I was working on glittered rings. Oh, calling birds. All right. I mean, I know I've got them here somewhere. It's a big old box of giant rings. Okay. Oh. They were up high where I could not see them. False alarm. Okay, so I've got 4 rings that we're doing silver. These 2 I started in gold, but I'm going to do my sort of platinum mix. These I started in my platinum mix, and I'm going to keep going. And this was, I talked about, I had this Martha Stewart. It's called Sterling Silver. And what it looks like to me is like a white, a metallic white mixed with a silver. That's kind of what it looks like to me. So we're going to do one in this and see how we feel about it. And if we really love it, we'll like reverse engineer it and, you know, sell it at the glitter store. I am forever collecting like discontinued glitters to be like, oh, who's she? I need to refresh my blue. Okay, I'm going to put the white glitters aside. I'm going to cap them so that they don't get stuff in them. Going to be good. Going to behave myself. Going to do the right thing. Even though it doesn't, even though the right thing is not the sort of fast thing, that's okay. All right. I have got, all right, you are too contaminated. We're not going to use you. That's okay. You are a base coat girl, and that's nothing wrong with that. You are, all right, that is, all right, this is silver. This is DEA silver mixed with, you're actually a little bit, I'm going to need to clean you up. I'm going to need to filter you. So I'm not going to touch you right now. But this is silver. This is DEA badge silver mixed with 1mm Ceylon Silver Girl. And that is my very favorite silver to use for glittering. But for the purposes of doing the shoes, I think I talked about this last time. If I put confetti into the ring, I just don't like the way that looks. Then it doesn't look smooth. It looks sort of, I don't know, pitted somehow. I'm not into that. So I'm going to glitter over her. Maybe I'll glitter over her today. I'm going to glitter over her because I'm not into her. No offense to the ring, but So I'm not going to use my DEA badge that has Sail on Silver Girl in her. I'm going to use fresh DEA badge silver, which I have here. And I am going to take one of my old clean jars and I'm going to mix about 50-50. I'll do a little more, I'll be generous. About 50-50 Sail on Silver Girl with some Baked with Love. You will maybe recall, if you've been watching for a hot minute, you will maybe recall that I did, one second. I did a bunch of Baked with Love when I did all my pizza shoes and my king cakes. So for the purposes of doing that, I did kind of a mixed especial for my base. And then I bought a bag of Baked with Love, and I used that for the final coats on all those, and I do still have some. So I'm just going to filter it real quick into the trash with the bits. Clean in my Baked with Love because it's still fine. The nice thing about working in batches is you don't get as much crosstalk because, like, if you do 8 shoes that are all baked with love and you have, like, extra bits of glitter, sorry, reaching for my trash can. If you have extra bits of glitter, you know, it all kind of matches. So that's another advantage to working in a batch. Okay, I'm going to keep my Baked with Love in here. You were helpful. I've got DEA badge silver. I'm going to add a little, like, 50-50 Baked with Love DEA badge silver. This is the color I like to use on my rings. I think it reads kind of sophisticated and wedding-y. And I actually have, like, a teaspoon of my last batch. So we'll filter her and we'll mix them all together and we'll have a fresh batch of wedding ring. So that takes all the chunky bits out. Wow. So it's good to filter your glitter from time to time if you can manage to not lose your filter. And so we sell these at Craft Culture. This one's kind of big, so it'll take out big pieces, but it won't take out like 1 millimeter. So you can't, like, use it to separate that level of fineness. We also have the same size that has a handle on it. Some people prefer the handle. I like this because it fits perfectly on the jar. We did that on purpose. I want to experiment. As you've maybe noticed when I'm in here, it's a long list of things I need to experiment with. But I want to experiment with doing a finer mesh so you can do different separations, because I think that would be helpful. But for now, it'll take out the big pieces, but that's kind of the limit of what it'll do. All right, my Baked with Love is good. This is my, oh, nope, that's not the right size. Oh, why not? Haha, I can put it back into the jar that I just used, and then my jar is still here. All right, so this is DEA badge silver mixed with Baked with Love. And this is my favorite color to put on a wedding ring. And I know what you're thinking, Nori, you have 90 different golds at Craft Culture. Surely there's one of them that I can use right out of the jar. And that would be, I don't want to talk about it. You're totally right. But that's the color I like to use for the rings. A mix of DEA badge silver and Baked with Love. If you have Louis First Horn or Cafe au lait, those also work. But kind of a toasty gold with some silver in it. Even though the gold is toasty and the silver is cool, they kind of vibe together. They kind of make a pretty team, a pretty blend. And that's just what I like to use on my wedding rings. And the nice thing is because it has silver in it and gold in it, you have a lot of options with your trim. You can pull a lot of colors in. You can make a lot of things work for you. Okay, so I put the glue on the tongs. We're going to do the tongs. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Very pretty color. I really like this color. All right, tongs are glittered, so I'm going to set her down. I'm going to set her like that so that her tongs can dry. All right, same thing on the other 3. Tongs. Tongs. You know, the wedding ring settings themselves are cheap enough that I'm not even going to try to... I'm just going to hang on to her as a demo so that when I want to explain to people, this is why I don't like confetti in my wedding ring. Okay. And she doesn't match. I used regular Cafe au lait with, or regular Baked with Love. That's what it looks like with the silver. But this is just the first coat. When I put it on top, it'll all vibe. Okay, 2. And I'm going to do her last because you will maybe recall that we got a little head start on her. I was like, let me show y'all kind of what it looks like to get this glittering process started on the ring. So she's one step ahead of the other of her 7 sisters. Which, no hate to her. Okay. All right. And these are hollow, so you want to be careful not to like pour a ton of glitter inside the ring because that's going to give you some trouble. That's going to kind of waste your glitter and drive you nuts. So you can maybe see I'm kind of angling it so that I don't like pour a bunch of glitter into the ring, because if you do that, it's going to be kind of hard to get it out of there. So it's, you know, don't stress out too much, but try to avoid pouring the glitter into the hollow ring if you can. All right, 1, 2, 3. Bap. And before I put this away, so she has gotten 1 coat on the bottom, 1 coat on the tongs. So we're going to come back around and do her final coat, hopefully, on the actual ring part. And as I said before, when I'm doing the final coat, I take my time. I'm a little bit more, you know, thorough. I'm a little bit more careful with it. My glue is low, but I'll refill it in a sec. I think I can get all the tongs done, and if I can't, what I'll do is I'll pour fresh glue. I'll do the next coats on the white, and then I'll switch over. Because I don't want to get silver in, I don't want to pour a fresh cup of glue, get silver in there, and then move on, and then have to pour another fresh cup of glue for my wedding white shoes. Okay. We want it smooth. And when something has a weird surface area, you kind of need to go over it a few times with the brush to kind of smooth it out. And as I have said before, if you find it streaky, my top tip is to move up a brush size, because a wider brush will kind of make less streaks. But also reminder that the glitter will kind of, the weight of the glitter kind of presses it out. All right, nice, smooth, nice smooth coat of glitter, of glue all the way around. This will be, oh, she's so pretty. I can't wait to put everybody together. Yes, 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 yes. Pretty wedding ring, wedding band. Light gold. Okay, so her, because she's tongs, I'm going to set her to dry like this. Not right here, obviously, because this is where I'm working. And, you know, as I tell Leela, not Leela, sorry, Leela is my cat who's gone to the Rainbow Bridge. As I tell Fanny every time she plops her butt right here, this is not the spot. I just saw a fleck of confetti in here, but now it disappeared. So, oh, there it is. Boop. Not essential, and that the bottom of the ring is going to be in the bottom of the inside the shoe. So, but you know. All right, so I'm going to set her like that, but not right here. All right, so those are my golden girls, if you will. I'm going to put this little jar with the rings so that I don't misplace it. Okay, so I was doing the holographic silver to see how I felt about it, and how I feel about it is I don't like it. So I'm going to do all 4 of these girls in just straight up DEA badge silver. And I'm probably going to put I'm going to play around with it once they're done, but I'm probably going to put the silver rings in the Tiffany box and the gold rings, the light gold rings in the wedding rings, the wedding boxes I got there. Oh, and then one of them one of my silver girls I'm going to do in her And I guess I'll see where I want to put her. But what I'm going to do right now is the tongs. I love holographic silver. It is disco-tastic, but I'm going for something a little more classic, a little more sophisticated for the wedding rings and for the Tiffany. Though if you had a disco-tastic wedding, I love that for you. And I think that's awesome. All right, so just DEA badge silver, pure DEA badge silver on the tongs. And she goes to sit in the box on the angle where her tongs can dry without being touched by anything. I'm going to see how I feel about this lightened silver, though. That might be fun. That might be a pretty vibe. If I like her a lot, I'll do more than one. So when I come back around to do top coats, when I come back around to do final coats, I'm going to do that one first, because if I like it, I might do more than one. I've got a very small little tube to work with. But, you know. Okay, tongs. Don't drop stuff, Nori. And I'm actually gonna, she's got a little bald spot there. I'm not gonna do the full loopy, but I'll get that since I'm here. Oh, it's okay. I'm not gonna do all the bald spots right now. Okay, tongs, tongs. Tong, tong. Good stuff. And you could absolutely just take the setting like this. It's already metallic silver, and put the stones in, and put the stones in and roll with that. You absolutely could do that, but me personally, I like to glitter them. By and large, if I have the time, I usually glitter everything that goes. I try to glitter everything. That is my first impulse, is to get anything that can glitter, to make it glitter. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes if you glitter something, like if you're doing food and you put, if you're doing like a fake food shoe and you put glitter on your sauce, it stops looking like sauce and just kind of looks like something else. So it's trial and error, I would say. But you can definitely get a lot of mileage out of things that aren't glittered, but I personally do tend to enjoy glittering them. Both because I like the process, and I just think it makes for a more complete, kind of cohesive composition. Complete cohesive composition. All right, so what I've got now, and I will show you my little box of cat food. Or my former box of cat food. All right, that's my DEA badge silver. Keep her with me because I got more rings to do. So y'all can see I have these angled so that the tongs can dry. The only exception is this one, which is drying tong side down, so that this part is fine. It's okay. It was mostly dry when I touched it. And I'm going to keep my little wedding band color, and I'm going to keep this little weird Martha Stewart sterling silver, so we can, mess around with that. Okie dokie. So, I know that it's been a long session. We're almost an hour and a half, though of course you guys, I say that, you guys can stop and start anywhere. You can break this down into however much you feel like. But for me, I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit more done because we're kind of close to the end of the month, and I'm not panicky, but I am aware that the reason we set those goals is to kind of keep us on. When I laid it out, I was like, finishing 6 shoes a month. That feels pretty good. That feels like a reasonable goal, but also if I do that, I'll have all my shoes done in December, and sweet goddess of glitter, would I love to have everything done by December. And I know that that's That's kind of a reach. That's kind of a stretch. I'm going to put her with her friends because she's just a little wibbly wobbly where I've got her. You and you and you and you and you and you. All right. Little box. All right. Finding a good spot to set this box down. Okay. So, these two gals are dry. We did them at the top of the session. We did them an hour and a half ago, so they're dry. Or dry enough, you know. I've said it many times. There are different kind of, there's bone dry and like ready for certain things, and then there's not quite that dry, and we're going to wait. What the? Oh, yeah, I remember this one. Pizza is money for the stomach, says Maddie. I have no idea what he means by that, but okay. Pizza is money for the stomach, guys. Think about it. And think about it, if you think about it long and hard and figure out what the heck it means, by all means let me know, because I am confused. Okay. Skills booklet. Just getting some scratch paper. This is just, you know, Maddie tracing words and learning his penmanship. Okay. High frequency words. Okay. Clean scrap paper. We're going to switch to a clean brush. I know we're very indulgent with our brushes this session. That's all right. I'm the one who's got to clean them, so it's not like I'm making work for anybody else but moi-même. Okay, she's going to get, I think I'm going to put a little unicorn sprinkles in her, unicorn freckles in her. Yeah, that's what I think I'm going to do. So she's the mix with some bright flakes. She's Miss May. Okay, I've got a plan. I've got a lay of the land. Where did my unicorn freckles go? I definitely had unicorn freckles here a moment ago. All right, you are going to get stacked there. You are not unicorn freckles. You are bath bubbles. And you would not work for this because you're a little bit kind of yellowy bluey. I'm going to unplug my glue gun because she does not need to be running. Come on, unicorn freckles. Sorry, y'all. I know it's very fun to watch me look for stuff. I mean, I could do... Let me get her started with Pearl Jam, and maybe when she sees us having fun, unicorn freckles will be like, hey, I want to play. Okay. Fresh glue. Gonna clean this cup. Okay. Fresh, clean Mod Podge. And reminder, I've already mixed Aleene's into this gallon because I was trying to streamline my process a little. But Mod Podge mixed with Aleene's. It's what the doctor ordered. Literally, because Dr. Glitter taught me that trick. All right, she looks good. She looks clean. Nice, smooth. It really looks good. You could almost get away with doing one coat, but whenever I say that, I regret it. So, almost. You could almost get away with one coat, but I really prefer two. And I want to mix a little confetti in. A little confetti looks festive. I was thinking about trying to play around with doing like some champagne gold confetti in the white. I think that would kind of read wedding-y, but I just haven't nailed a combo that I'm super into. I've tried like Beignet, which is kind of our golden mix. That was a limited edition, so if you don't have her, sorry. That brush is insufficiently clean for me, so I'm going to switch to a different one. And again, that's me. Nobody's fault but my own that I didn't clean that brush enough. And it's not a huge deal. I can just see a couple little flecks of something are catching my eye. It'll be fine, but might as well do it correctly. Might as well switch over to that's better. a really squeaky clean brush. That's what's up. Yes, yes, yes. And again, this is the final coat. This is the second coat. So I'm making sure I'm getting everything nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. Don't want to miss any spots. So I can touch it up, but I prefer not to. Prefer to do it right the first time if I can. Okay. Glue. Nice even coat of glue. We're going to do a little bit of Pearl Jam. Give her some extra va-va-voom, but not to the point where we lose the sort of sophistication that we're going for on a wedding shoe. And there's a decent amount of high flash silver in Pearl Jam, which helps. Okay. But since there's high flash silver in there, it will go just fine with our kind of silvery gold that we made. So even though we have a little bit of silver in the mix, it's still all going to vibe real nice. That's my Miss May. So the Miss May has kind of a gold tone. The confetti has kind of a silver tone, but it's all going to marry together just fine. No pun intended. And it's all going to be very pretty. Whew. Feeling good about this. And then this one, I'm going to do the thing I do where I say all she needs, and then I list like 6 things. All she needs, once this top coat dries, is the top coat on her heel, the top coat on her sole, trim around her edges, her ring finished up, some flowers glued on there, and her lettering. That's all she needs. Those goalposts will move on you, but if you keep after them, you can wear them down. Wear down your goalposts, my friends. Just wear them down. Okay. So she is very, very, very beautiful. I don't think in this so light you can appreciate how beautiful she is, but she really is. And she's a nice, pretty shape, and she's going to have a ring in her and her flowers, and oh, she's going to be so pretty, and she's going to make somebody so happy. Somebody is going to be in the right moment in their life that a wedding ring Muses shoe is just going to really do something for them. And that is what it's all about, Charlie Brown. Okay, so she is going to need to dry. I'm going to keep her little cup with her because I'm at the point now where I'm kind of doing different whites and different combinations and stuff. And I don't want to accidentally use up the last of this and have her curtains not match her drapes, her bottom not match her top. That was the worst possible way of phrasing that, and I apologize, everyone. But I'm going to keep this next to her while she dries. So what I've got on my floor is just clean pieces of scrap paper, and one piece of paper has one shoe and the glitter. And I'm just going to keep them together. You are looking good. All right, you're looking good. We might be able to work on you too. I know this is a lengthy session. All right, Unicorn Freckles. We had a lot of fun without you. Where are you, girl? Don't you want to come out and play? Don't you want to be where the people are? Aren't you ready to party? Maybe she's under the rings. Come on. I've got 9,000 things on this table, and I'm like shocked that I can't find the one thing I want the exact moment I want it. Where could it be? I say as I look at like hundreds of things. Oh my goodness. It's hard. I know I should reorganize, but like it's so much more fun to keep glittering than to stop and reorganize. You know? Those are all my cute embellishments. We're going to get to this soon. All the pretty little floral. All right, I can check in my... I feel like I just saw Unicorn Freckles. That's pepperonis. Those are empty. Ha! We did it. We did it. We did it. We found our unicorn freckles. Perfect. I never doubted us for a moment. I doubted us for many moments, but we don't, you know, that's in the past. We're in the now. We don't need to live in the past. Okay. And you know, maybe we start our May with a nice deep clean. We put everything away that we need to put away. We triage a little bit. We pick out the shoes that are fun, but not anywhere near being done, and maybe we set them aside for now. So I unfortunately, it's a good problem to have, but it is a problem to have. I'll make something and then I love it, and then I want to do like 9 of them. I had so much fun making that hamburger that I want to make like 9 hamburgers. But if I do that, I won't get anything else done. So I just need to have the experience, feel the love, and I will come back. You know, the love isn't going anywhere. I will still love making hamburgers when the time is right. Because I've already shown y'all how to do the hamburger. Y'all don't want to watch me make 9 hamburgers. That being said, if y'all want to watch me make 9 hamburgers, please let me know. Don't be shy. All right, nice coat of white on top of my magic white. And it's not exactly magic white, but it's close. Gonna layer some unicorn freckles. They are so cute. So this is gonna be a slightly more pastel rainbowy white, not as kind of that clean, bright, metallic white, or that kind of goldeny, silvery white. But it's fun to do different things. And I will keep this handy because I am doing unicorn demos because we've restocked those kits. And that's a really fun kit. Doop, doop, doop. All right, little sprinkle of unicorn freckles. A hefty sprinkle, a hefty dose of unicorn freckles, if I'm being honest. Boop-a-doo-boo. Boop-a-doo-boo. Yeah, I know this is a lengthy session, but if you got the time and the energy, it's good to make use of it. And today I've got the time, and I'm gonna just, you know, summon up the energy. Okay. She's very pretty. She's not done. I mean, she's not done at all, but she's not done with this step. Okay. Finding every little bit, making sure every bit got its glitter. Yep. It's very easy to miss spots when you're putting white glitter on top of white glue on top of a white shoe. But that's why we are diligent. She's very pretty. She's kind of frosty. You know, she's not as warm and weddingy, but she's kind of frosty and she's pretty. I like her a lot. We'll see how she looks once she's trimmed and flowered and ringed. It may be that we're like, the other color scheme works a little better, but that's how we learn things. All right, and I'm going to put her on a sheet of paper with her glitter colors so that we do not get our signals crossed. All right, you are looking pretty good. No, the nice thing about a long session is by the time you get to the end of doing your first step, you're ready to go back and do some more steps. So the shoes that we glittered at the start of the session have been glittered for like, you know, an hour and a half. So we can kind of get a little more done on those. All right. So she is getting, scooch on out of here, you. Okay, she is getting Boeuf Gras Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam is right here. Boeuf Gras is right here. She already got her inside done. And I know that because the confetti's there. Gonna give her a light brush, but not a hard brush because she might still be a little bit damp. And that's okay. Looking good. Okay. But this first coat of Buff Gras that we did this morning, I mean, it's still the morning. Is it still the morning? That we did at the top of the session, top of the morning to you, is dry enough that we can put our next coat. I would not call it like bone dry. I would not be hot gluing stuff onto this. I would not be giving it a hard brush, but it's dry enough that I can layer that second coat. And then all she's going to need is her heel and her sole, and then all the other things I mentioned. All you need. There was a tweet, it reminds me of a tweet where somebody was like, my niece wants to be an astronaut, and I was like, you have to train really hard, do really well in school, and you have to get into it's like you have to get into really good shape, you have to study really hard in school, and you have to train a lot for that. And she was like, that's just 3 things. And I like that energy. That's just a few things. And I'm in no way equating becoming an astronaut to making shoes, but I'm saying sometimes I list it and it feels a little daunting, but we keep on doing things. My mama used to say, if your plate is full, start eating. If you got a lot on that to-do list, you can get stressed about it. Going into the Especial now. It's too much. If you got a lot on your to-do list, if you start doing things on the to-do list, it's going to help more than stressing out about the length of the to-do list. And, stressing out about the length of your to-do list when what you are doing is shoes is its own sort of silly thing. Just as a reminder, and this is for myself as much as for anyone, the goal of getting a lot of stuff done early is not because anything's going to go badly if you don't. It's because you are giving yourself the gift of a head start. You are going to reap what you have sown. And if what you have sown is a big, juicy head start, a lot of your carnival work done before you even hit the season, you are going to be the one who, when it's New Year's Eve and 2026 turns into 2027, you are going to be the one who can breathe that big sigh of relief that you've already got so much done and bagged and ready for the people. So, it is a gift you are giving to yourself. So, falling behind is not something to get too sweaty about. I normally would just put this into my white Especial, but my Buff Gras is precious, so I spilled a little bit. I'm sweeping it up. Okay. Gosh, the Buff Gras with Pearl Jam is so pretty. And y'all, I'm doing the thing where I think we're out of Buff Gras right now. I promise we are restocking very soon. But if you have Buff Gras in your stash and you're wanting to do wedding rings, that's my favorite. That's my top pick. Oh, gosh. Twinkly and beautiful. You are so beautiful. And it's still going to go real nice with that gold. Oh, my goodness. I'm feeling it. I'm excited about that. You might be pretty with, yeah, that might be a thing. Okay, and she is, I do not need to worry as much about which color she is. I think I'm going to remember. And I'm going to do the other one in this. So I'm not going to put everything down there quite yet. All right, you are going to go with, where are you going? I'm going to put you in the wedding box and with your ring components. All right, last one. How's she feeling? Yep, she's dry enough. You sit in the dehydrator for an hour and you're, unsurprisingly, pretty good to go. So she's a little bit wet, so I'm not going to grip her heel too tight because I don't want to rub the paint and glitter off of her heel. So we're going to light touch on the heel. Light touch. But she's pretty dry. dry enough that we can get this coat on. And then tonight, or maybe tomorrow, we'll do the second bit of glue on the heel and the sole, and then all of the wedding ring boxes and wedding ring white wedding shoes. Their glitter will be done. The silver one might take a little longer. The one where we did the robin's egg and we're doing silver, that one might take a little longer because we're doing multiple colors and monochrome goes faster, as we all know. And by as we all know, I mean as I repeat incessantly. Okay. Gentle hold on the heel. Okay. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, so good, so good. Okay. We're doing so good, y'all. Man, 2-hour session. Whew. When it rains, it pours, huh? Okay. But that's fine. Y'all can chop it up. You do not have to sit with me for 2 hours. You can sit with me for whatever feels good to you. And I'll be right here when you're ready to come back to it. Okay, nice sprinkle of Pearl Jam. My beautiful Boeuf Gras. Oh, my beautiful, beautiful Boeuf Gras. I named this one, we named good because, like, that is how I feel about the float, you know? Like, oh, the Boeuf Gras fills my heart. Okay. She's looking good. I'm trying to hold the heel so lightly because the heel is not bone dry and I really don't want to smudge her. So I'm just doing such a light hold on the heel while I glitter the other surfaces. And this is why you should probably space it out. And I am probably not spacing it out ideally because I want to get some stuff done before April turns into May. All right. Oh, my beauty. My beauty. All right, I'm going to sit the two. Wow-wee. Zowie. I can't wait to show you guys all of these together, and I might need to do a video and like put it on the Patreon because it's hard to see in the light in here, but I feel like if you look at them side by side, the difference between the different combinations of whites, the different vibes, because Miss May has this really pretty like goldeny glow that looks really beautiful, but Boeuf Gras is really like silver and like kind of cool. And then the unicorn freckles with the magic white is so kind of pastel-y, pretty, sweet, fairy tale-ish. It's just wild, the difference. There's so much difference between the white glitters if you are somebody who pays attention to that, which I am. All right, let's take a look at this girl. She may or may not be ready for us, and if she is, then she is. All right, okay. Okay. I don't 100% remember what she needs. Did she get her... I need to, like, review the tape. She looks pretty good. I think she got her second coat of all her blues on the inside and the outside. And I think she just needs her sole and her heel. But I'm going to review the tape on that one because she looks pretty done. She looks pretty good. What's your deal? Oh yeah, I'm going to let her dry some more and I'm going to review tape and see what she actually needs. And then we're going to do that. But we'll do it in the next session. The last thing I'm going to do, the very, very last thing, is how are you doing? So you got, I think this is what we did. Like an hour ago, and I forgot. I think she got 2 coats of blue. Yeah, she still feels a little damp. She's not ready for her silver, but she's going to get silver on her bottom and on her heel, her little platform here, and her sole. She's going to get silver. And And then I think that one got first coat on the top, the outside, the inside, and the bottom and the heel. I think that's what she's ready for next. But we will check. If so, she looks really good. Yeah, this one is a little bit more, you probably can't tell in the light in here. Maybe you can. This one looks a little bit more saturated, a little more juicy. Yeah, that's what she needs. Okay, I got it. But this is why I need to take good notes, guys, because I kind of get in here and I start vibing, and then it's anybody's guess what's going to happen. So, very last thing, I'm going to give her. And I'm not using confetti on these, which makes it even harder for me to track who's got what. But I want them to look, there's something about the kind of clean, finished. We could try a little not snow job, a little bit of Pearl Jam in here. How do we feel about that? We could try. Why not, huh? Why don't we try? Why don't we play? You got to keep yourself entertained. It could be that I like the sort of continuous, smooth surface of the glitter, kind of representing that smooth, pristine little box. But it could be the little extra twinkle is a little extra twinkle. Okay. And so I know I've already done a very lengthy session this morning, in that we are at like 2 hours. So I know I have done a pretty lengthy session, but I will probably do a session either this evening or tomorrow. We're going to cluster feed a little bit, if you will, because we're very close to done with the glitter on our stuff. And close to glitter means, close to done on the glitter means close to done on the everything. So it would be so deliciously fabulous to get these 8 beautiful, elegant shoes done in the next day or so. The next couple of days. That would be very exciting for everyone involved, by which I mean me. Okie dokie. Yeah, let's try a little Pearl Jam. Let's live a little, right? Life is short. Life is, you know. And plus that way we'll know what we did. It's fun to experiment, and it's really fun to know where the heck you are, which step you are on your to-do list. I think that's going to be pretty. I think that's going to be fun. I'm into that. I'm feeling that. And if I don't like it, it is okay. Someone is going to love the shoe. This is the phase in shoe glittering where your jar is almost empty. Oh gosh, I really love it. I really love that. I've never... That's not true. There actually used to be a confetti that went with the original Tiffany Blue when I sold it with Crew of Glue. But oh my gosh, I have never put Pearl Jam. That is so fun and fabulous. Damn, all right. Anyway, I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by my own self. When you get to the bottom of the jar, there's a lot of going back and forth. It gets a little tedious. That's why you open a fresh jar and it feels so luxurious. Or you fill one of those big jars and work from one of those, and you're like, just, haha, it's like payday, like buying around for everyone in the bar. Ooh. I knew it was going to be kind of close because my jar was pretty low when I started these shoes. And I have been a little bit cavalier. But I think we're going to make it. We still have to also do the sole and the heel, but I think we're going to make it. It's just going to be aggravating to move the And we're gonna, when we brush these shoes, we're gonna be so careful. We're not gonna spill a drop. Oh, that's really pretty though. Can you guys see that extra little shimmer? Man, confetti, man, does not miss. Even in a really smooth, beautiful kind of satiny. Oh boy, I am really feeling some kind of way about that. Wow. Ooh, wee. That is a very nice note to go out on. She's so twinkly. She's so twinkly, pretty, sparkly, lovely. I am in love with that combo. I've never done it before, but I really like it. She's so, you know, she looks like if they spread out a big piece of robin's egg blue fabric and just covered it with diamonds and stones and stuff. Beautiful. Which I know is a weird hypothetical. I know they wouldn't do that, but wow, I love that. It really is pretty. It really is pretty. And once she gets her white trim and her big ring in her, man, you are going to be such a glamour girl. I will tell y'all, I'm a little bit nervous about this stretching. So I think probably what I'm going to do is the heel and make sure I have enough to do the heel. And I might do her bottom in the patina velvet because that'll go just fine. That'll go. It'll work just fine. And when you run out, you know, I'm not going to buy a whole nother thing of, I mean, I'm absolutely going to buy more of this color because it's one of my favorite colors. But I'm not going to buy a whole nother thing just to do the sole of this shoe because I'm pretty much there. And this one I have finished doing her robin's egg blue. Look at the difference between with the confetti in it and not. Doesn't the confetti just give it so much va-va-voom? She is done with her robin's egg blue. When she's more dry, I'll give her a good brush. I don't want to dislodge anything. She's pretty dry. She's going to get silver, so I don't need any more Breakfast at Trademark to finish her. She's done with Breakfast at Trademark. So this will be enough to do, this little bit will be enough to do the heel if I'm careful, but I might have to do the sole in the patina. I still got plenty of patina velvet, and they coordinate really well. They're going to play well together. I ain't worried about that. Okay, wow, what a day. Whew. We got a lot done. I feel amazing about the progress. I wasn't in here for a couple of days because other stuff was going on, so I feel extra especially good that I feel like I caught up. I caught up and then some. I'm feeling wonderful. I got glue on my shirt. That's fine. I have glue on all my shirts. I have many brushes to wash, and I will. And I think once we finish the rings, we'll probably need to clean up in here a little bit. And by we, I mean me. We got our rings. They're looking good. They're drying. Yeah, they're looking good. We'll be able to get those mostly glittered in the next session and a half or so. Whew, all right, coming down. Well, that was a fantastic session for me. I hope everybody who is following along is enjoying themselves and is getting something out of the shoe marathon. And even if it's just, you know, my company while you work on stuff or tidy up your craft room or whatever. And yeah, I will see you guys probably, I put dates on these things like, oh, I'll be back tonight, but then I have to like actually upload the video and stuff, and sometimes that takes time. So like, I'm throwing dates out. I'm throwing schedule things out, but they don't mean anything. And also, you don't have to tune in to, it's not like I'm actually broadcasting live, so it's not like you have to keep track of the schedule and tune in. It's ready when it's ready. It's hot and it's ready. Is it good? It's hot and it's ready. So that's a pretty silhouette. I'm feeling amazing. Feeling really good. Can't wait to ride the wave of momentum to the end of the finish line on these, because we're really closing in on it, and it's going to be a really nice, it's going to feel amazing to have 8 of these bagged. 8 shoes bagged. That's going to feel amazing. So I'm at 9, 10. Oh, I didn't do I was like, we're finally going to finish the shrimp. We didn't finish the shrimp. It's okay. It's okay. She's almost done. She just needs a little more shrimp. She's just a little bit too skimpy on the shrimpy. And I need to write muses on her. But that's okay. We have 9 done, and then it'll be another 8. Whoo-wee. Oh man, I'm looking at the, we're gonna take a big jump. When we go from 9 to wow, that's gonna be a big jump, and that's gonna feel amazing. I'm gonna be coloring in my thermometer. So thank you all so much. It has been a wild ride. I will see you guys again very soon. Hope everyone is having an amazing end of April, beginning of May festival season in the most beautiful city on the face of the earth.